evening leaned against the stone wall there. In my pocket, all the words I folded turned to dust with every step and stare. Since you left, I've walked this road in silence, under trees that bend but never speak. And your name, the one I never called out, stayed like a dry leaf hidden in my sleeve. I was afraid that if I said it, that would be the end of everything. So the rain moved first across the alley toward the place where you had used to be. I still walk between them, slow and small. Every heart I could not hand to you shakes a little in the evening fall. When I turn around, there's no one there. Still it feels like you may come somehow. On a road lined with unsent words, I keep following what I never said out loud. There's a diner past the crossing light where the window hums with late night rain. I still see your hands around the coffee and the way you smiled then looked away. On the seat beside me, shadows tremble like they've ridden here for years and years. And the song half lost inside the radio pulls your ghost out of the static air. I almost wrote the last line for you. Twice I stopped before the ink could dry, while the street lights blurred like tired halos, and the dark kept leaning from the sky. I still walk between them, slow and small. Every heart I could not hand to you shakes a little in the evening fall. When I turn around, there's no one there. Still it feels like you may come somehow. On a road lined with unsent words, I keep following what I never said out loud. Tap soft on the hood like fingers. Vinyl crackles in the dashlit blue. I unfold one page and find no answer, only the space that still belongs to you. Maybe love was never in the speaking. Maybe it lived here all along, in the quiet weight of what was carried, in the place where leaving left its song. On a road lined with unsent words, the night bends low and listens close. Every step I took to keep from calling now returns in every drifting note. When I turn around, I do not wait now. Still your shadow moves where the pines are bowed. On a road lined with unsent words, I finally hear what I was too afraid to tell out loud. By the mailbox, rain is thinning. Morning pales the cracked white curb, and the road no longer feels abandoned. Just a road once lined with unsent words. fading from the rooftops to the narrow street. Light came down in careful colors, laying gold on every broken leaf. On the sill, the flowers you once touched held a shine along their fragile green, and the room we left in winter silence turned into a softer scene. The cold was still there in the corners, but the air had started letting go, and I felt your name move through me like the first warm wind I used to know. You were the color of spring after rain, falling so quiet over all my gray. After the long dark, after the windows cried, you came like light returning to the sky. But you were made of change. Still you stayed somewhere the heart can't explain. You were the color of spring after rain, and I still see you that way. Down the lane the puddles kept pieces of the pale and opening blue. Children's voices crossed the garden walls, and for a moment I believed in June. There was your coat still by the hallway mirror, one loose thread I never thought to mend. And in that small half-sunlit silence I could feel the seasons start again. Not the kind that comes in thunder, not the kind that asks to be adored, just a change in light upon the table and a door I'd left unopened before. You were the color of spring after rain, falling so quiet over all my gray. After the long dark, after the windows cried, you came like light returning to the sky. I reached for you, but you were made of change. Still you stayed somewhere the heart can't explain. You were the color of spring after rain, and I still see you that way. Now the evening leans on the curtains, and the kettle sings its little song. I don't need to call you back to me to know what kind of love you were all along. Some loves burn bright and leave you restless, some leave a shadow you can't outrun. Yours was a quiet room made golden, just for a while, by the gentlest sun. You were the color of spring after rain, soft on the stone and sweet on the panes. After the long ache, after the empty days, you came and taught the light my name. I could not keep you, I can say that now. Still you remain in the world somehow. You were the color of spring after rain, and I still live in that shade. By the window, rain is gone now, only the leaves and the light remain. And somewhere in the hush of morning, I find your color there again. Morning drifted through the linen, laying pale across the kitchen chair. On the wall beside the window, there was a shadow shaped like you were there. In the cup, the tea had long gone colder, still the steam was written in my mind. And the silence folded on the table like a note I'd left unopened all this time. If I reached, I knew you'd disappear. You were never something I could hold, only light that stayed a little longer, only warmth inside the quiet cold. Your shadow in the linen light moves across my room and through my day. You're not here, but something in the morning still refuses to fade away. When I close my eyes, you come back clear, soft as dust in a silver beam. Your shadow in the linen light lives on where I thought I'd only dream. By the hallway mirror, your reflection seems to wait in corners of the glass. There's a coat hook with an empty story and a floorboard still remembering your steps. Outside, the garden shakes with sparrows inside. Time hangs gentle in the air. I tell myself the house is only waking, but it always feels as if you've just been there. I say nothing, let the room keep breathing, let the curtains move the way they do. Every small and ordinary moment turns and leaves a little trace of you. Your shadow in the linen light moves across my room and through my day. You're not here, but something in the morning still refuses to fade away. When I close my eyes, you come back clear, soft as dust in a silver beam. Your shadow in the linen light lives on where I thought I'd only dream. Maybe love was never in the keeping, maybe it was this and nothing more. A chair half turned, a softened window, and the hush of sunlight on the floor. I don't call your name the way I used to. I just stand and let the silence move. And in that pale and borrowed brightness, I can feel what stayed behind from you. Your shadow in the linen light falls across the years so tenderly. Not a ghost, not something to be frightened of, just the shape of what you were to me. And though the day will pull the curtains open and carry all the silver from the room, your shadow in the linen light still finds a way to bloom. Morning settles on the linen, dust and light and one familiar view. Nothing stirs beside the window, still the wall remembers you. At the edge of the blossom wind, I turned when someone spoke your name. Light was resting on the garden wall after the rain had washed the day. Branches moved in quiet little circles, petals gathered near my shoes, and the place where you had once stood waiting felt so close I almost called to you. One step slower, afraid to move and break the air. The breeze reached out and touched your shoulder while I stood with both hands full of nowhere. At the edge of the blossom wind, I saw you there, then lost you again, like a trace of spring on the evening light. Gone too soon, but still living in all the rooms I carry in my heart, all the days I thought were through. At the edge of the blossom wind, something in me bloomed for you. There were voices drifting from the backyards, cups and laughter from an open door. Somewhere someone played a song so softly I had heard it in another year before. Your coat of blue came back to me then, in the color of the darkening sky, and the way you used to turn, half smiling as if leaving never crossed your mind. I could have crossed the distance to you, I could have let the silence break, but the petals kept on falling between us like all the words I could not make. At the edge of the blossom wind, I saw you there, then lost you again, like a trace of spring on the evening light. Gone too soon, but still living in all the rooms I carry in my heart, all the days I thought were through. At the edge of the blossom wind, something in me bloomed for you. Now the night comes down so gently, curtains breathe against the pane, and I know some loves are only moments, still they color everything. Not the kind you keep forever, not the kind that asks to stay, just a sudden tender way the whole world turns and looks at you one day. At the edge of the blossom wind, I see you now in softer ways, in the hush between the branches, in the gold at the end of day. And though I never held that moment long enough to call it mine, at the edge of the blossom wind, you are still there in the light. Petals resting on the stone path, evening leaning pale and thin. I still turn when spring comes walking. At the edge of the blossom wind. was a garden we once knew. Evening settled in the wet earth slowly, and every leaf seemed turned to you. The bench was holding one last warmth, though no one waited there tonight. And all the words we never trusted hung like blossoms in the fading light. The wind moved through before we spoke. A fallen petal touched my hand. It should have felt like time was over. So why does this place still understand? The garden that kept our silence still breathes your name in every tree. In the hush of all those summer evenings, something of you stays with me. I know I cannot call time backward, still I walk that narrow path again. Through the garden that kept our silence, where our hearts learned not to say what they meant. There's ivy climbing up the stone wall, like the years that covered everything. But underneath the green I see us in the pause before the birds would sing. You looked at me across the roses, as if the world had slowed its hands. And all the quiet growing between us was something only we could understand. No thunder came, no door was closing, only dusk upon the climbing vines. But some goodbyes are made in stillness and never leave a single line. The garden that kept our silence still breathes your name in every tree. In the hush of all those summer evenings, something of you stays with me. I know I cannot call time backward, still I walk that narrow path again. Through the garden that kept our silence, where our hearts learned not to say what they meant. Now the sky turns blue behind the branches, and the first stars lean above the gate. I have lived enough to know some longings do not fade, they only change their shape. Not every love was meant for keeping, not every truth was meant for sound. But there are places in this world where what was lost is still around. The garden that kept our silence still opens softly in my mind, with the scent of rain and distant flowers and your shadow moving through the light. I do not wait there like I used to, still I feel you when the evening bends. In the garden that kept our silence, where the story never had to end. Behind the rusted iron gate, the leaves are stirring, dusk is thin. And somewhere in that quiet garden, our silence still goes on living. Petals moved along the street at the corner where you once stood waiting. Late spring light fell soft and incomplete. People passed as if the day was ordinary. but I stopped where the wet stones shone, trying to hold the edge of something tender before the wind could carry it all on. If I had only moved in closer, maybe the season would have changed. But the breeze had already found your shoulder, and I still had not said your name. Before the petals lost their way, there was something I had meant to say. At the far edge of our little spring, where the light was fading day by day, I reached for you and found the distance. Still that moment has not slipped away. Before the petals lost their way, my heart was already yours to take. There was water shining on the railing, and the smell of earth after the rain. You turned once with that quiet half smile that always made the whole world change. Somewhere a screen door closed behind us. Someone laughed from a yard nearby, but all I heard was the hush between us and the blossom wind against the sky. I could have crossed that small space to you. I could have let the silence break, but the air was full of drifting petals, and all the words I could not make. Before the petals lost their way, there was something I had meant to say. At the far edge of our little spring, where the light was fading day by day, I reached for you and found the distance. Still that moment has not slipped away. Before the petals lost their way, my heart was already yours to take. Now the years move on like weather, soft across the windows and the lawn. But some afternoons return so clearly, it feels as if they never left at all. Not every love becomes a story. Not every story stays to bloom. Some are only made of petals and the tender space they once moved through. Before the petals lost their way, I was closer than I knew to love, standing in the hush of one brief season while the branches trembled high above. And though I never found the courage, still the color of that day remains. Before the petals lost their way, you had already changed my name. Under the wall where the rain had ended, petals drift through memory the same, and I still see them turning slowly At dusk upon the porch steps, the air was cooling through the trees. Somewhere in the fading light, a low melody came back to me. It moved across the worn-out floorboards like it had nowhere else to go. And the empty chair beside the window made the evening feel like long ago. I held my breath to keep it with me, afraid the sound might disappear. Then the wind came through just like footsteps, and for a moment you were here. A melody left on the porch at dusk still waits where the day grows dim. I know it's only an old song drifting. Still my heart keeps turning with it. You're as far away as evening light, and just as hard to hold. A melody left on the porch at dusk still lingers when the air turns gold. The screen door gave a tired shiver. The shadows stretched along the rail, and from the hall the house stayed quiet, like it was listening to the pale last little notes the dark was carrying from somewhere I could not see. And every line I never told you rose and fell inside of me. If I had called, would you have turned back? If I had moved, would time have stayed? But the dust kept leaning into silence, and the song was all it gave. A melody left on the porch at dusk still waits where the day grows dim. I know it's only an old song drifting. Still my heart keeps turning with it. You're as far away as evening light, and just as hard to hold. A melody left on the porch at dusk still lingers when the air turns gold. Maybe love was never louder than a few soft notes and falling light. Maybe some things stay forever by never trying to survive. So I let the evening keep you in the hush between the trees, and I stand where the porch light trembles with your ghost inside the melody. A melody left on the porch at dusk still finds me when the day is through. Not enough to bring you back here, just enough to lead me to that quiet hour, that tender doorway, that sky of blue and gold. A melody left on the porch at dusk still sings what never could be told. At dusk upon the porch steps, the light goes slowly from the walls, and one old song stays in the silence after everything else is gone.
Stayed open all afternoon. Sunlight lay across the table like it knew the season would be gone too soon. The road we used to walk was waiting. Roses climbed the wall a little higher now. And something I had thought was finished lifted softly in the late gold light somehow. If we had only walked a little slower, would that day have stayed a little more? Your voice came back to me so lightly, like summer leaning through an open door. On the last warm day of May, you came to me quieter than spring. Over the heart I thought had fallen silent, you were sunlight settling. And though I reached, you kept on drifting, like the hours slipping from the sky. On the last warm day of May, part of me still stands in that light. There were children calling from a garden and a radio somewhere down the street. The air was sweet with cut grass and shadows, and the world moved slow beneath the heat. You turned to say some small thing, laughing. I can't recall the words, only the sound. And how the whole day seemed to listen, as if it knew what would not stay around. No storm was coming, nothing broke us. No sudden change, no last goodbye. Just the way the light began to lower and leave its color in your eyes. On the last warm day of May, you came to me quieter than spring. Over the heart I thought had fallen silent, you were sunlight settling. And though I reached, you kept on drifting, like the hours slipping from the sky. On the last warm day of May, part of me still stands in that light. Now the years move on like curtains, breathing softly in another room. But some days never really leave you, they just fade to gold instead of blue. I have loved and I have lost, and I have let the long nights pass. Still there are moments in the evening when that old sunlight finds me back. On the last warm day of May, I see you now in gentler ways, in open windows, in the roses, in the hush at the end of day. I know that I can't hold that hour or call it back, no matter how your light behind. The windows breathe with evening, the table dims, the shadows stay, and somewhere in the soft remainder lives the last warm day of May. Under a sky the color of memory, the evening moved slow down our street. Faded light on the window shutters, dust and gold where the shadows meet. The road you used to take was quiet. The walls still held the last of the day, and a name I thought had long gone silent rose to my lips, then slipped away. If the dark had only waited longer, would we have left some different words? The sky was clear as if nothing happened, still my heart returned to where you were. Under a sky the color of memory, I still look up and find you there. There were voices from the houses and a screen door closing somewhere near, the kind of ordinary hour that only grows more bright with years. I saw your shape in the dim blue distance, turning once before the corner bend, and all the things I never told you came back warm as the day grew thin. Maybe love is only this much, a look, a hush, a lingering glow, something small the whole world misses, but the heart remembers as it goes. Under a sky the color of memory, I still look up and find you there. Now the stars come on so slowly, like they're learning how to shine.
means goodbye. Some remain in borrowed colors across the late and tender sky. Under a sky the color of memory, you live in shades that do not fade. In the hush above the rooftops, in the blue at the end of day. And though I cannot call you closer, still your light finds me this way. Under a sky the color of memory, part of you remains. The evening leans on every window, the last birds cross and disappear. And under that remembering sky, I still feel you here. Under a sky the color of memory, the evening moved slow down our street. Faded light on the window shutters, dust and gold where the shadows meet. The road you used to take was quiet. The walls still held the last of the day, and a name I thought had long gone silent rose to my lips, then slipped away. If the dark had only waited longer, would we have left some different words? The sky was clear as if nothing happened, still my heart returned to where you were. Under a sky the color of memory, I still look up and find you there. There were voices from the houses and a screen door closing somewhere near, the kind of ordinary hour that only grows more bright with years. I saw your shape in the dim blue distance, turning once before the corner bend, and all the things I never told you came back warm as the day grew thin. Maybe love is only this much, a look, a hush, a lingering glow, something small the whole world misses, but the heart remembers as it goes. Under a sky the color of memory, I still look up and find you there. Like evening light in thinning
Now the stars come on so slowly, like they're learning how to shine. And I stand inside the quiet, where your almost love meets mine. Not every story asks for ending, not every silence means goodbye. Some remain in borrowed colors across the late and tender sky. Under a sky, the color of memory, you live in shades that do not fade. In the hush above the rooftops, in the blue at the end of day. And though I cannot call you closer, still your light finds me this way. Under a sky, the color of memory, part of you remains. The evening leans on every window, the last birds cross and disappear. And under that remembering sky, I still feel you here. Where your letter never came, the old mailbox still sways in the wind. Late afternoon falls down the alley, long as the waiting I was living in. Every day I used to open the door at the same hour without a sound. Under a sky that offered nothing, I said your name with no envelope around. There were so many days I believed it, I couldn't turn away too soon. Then the breeze came over the wall first and settled on my empty hands that June. Where your letter never came, I still linger by that road, holding all the words that never found me. Like evening light I could not hold. I know by now the story ended, still my feet keep turning back the same to the place where your letter never came. And only my waiting remained. There's a crack in the painted front step, and ivy climbing near the gate. The neighbors pass and say good evening, like no one here has learned to wait. But in the hush before the street lights, I can still hear the screen door move and feel the ache of small expectations in every shadow touched with blue. I told myself the heart gets wiser after enough unreturned days. Still something in the dusk keeps listening for footsteps fading up the lane. Where your letter never came, I still linger by that road, holding all the words that never found me. Like evening light I could not hold. I know by now the story ended, still my feet keep turning back the same to the place where your letter never came. And only my waiting remained. Maybe love was never promised by a page, a stamp, a line. Maybe I was keeping faith with something that
came. I stand a little differently now, not asking for what never reached me, just letting the evening show me how a heart can ache and still grow lighter. A name can fade and still remain in the place where your letter never came. I left my waiting with the rain. The old mailbox moves in the twilight. The alley dims, the day grows thin, and somewhere in that quiet hour I stop waiting again. The scent of rain on folded paper rose from the drawer I hardly ever touched, and all the days I thought were buried came back soft and slow at once. Between the lines of your old handwriting there was more than I could bear to read. Under a dim and clouded window I held that page and could not breathe. If I opened it, I might go with it back to the hour it still belongs, while the rain ran down the glass before me, touching places words had touched all along. The scent of rain on folded paper still lingers at the edge of me. I know it was a love that ended. Still that perfume pulls the years like string. You're too far now to call back to me, just a season I can't keep from returning to. But the scent of rain on folded paper still brings me close to you. In the lamplit hush, the room grew smaller as the evening pressed against the pane. Every crease across that worn-out letter held a little weather of its own like rain. I remembered how you wrote my name once, careful as if time might tear it through, and how I folded all I never answered into the quiet after losing you. I told myself that age would dry it, that memory would loosen with the years, but one small trace of rain in paper can still undo the heart right here. The scent of rain on folded paper still lingers at the edge of me. I know it was a love that ended. Still that perfume pulls the years like string. You're too far now to call back to me, just a season I can't keep from returning to. But the scent of rain on folded paper still brings me close to you. Maybe love was never in the keeping, maybe it lived in what we saved. A page, a fold, a drop of weather, and the silence that remained. I don't read the letter like I used to, I just let it rest there in my hands and listen to scent of rain on folded paper moves through me like a distant room. Not enough to call you back now, just enough to make the dark still bloom. And though I know the years have carried everything we were from view, the scent of rain on folded paper still leaves the night with you. From the drawer the old page softens, rain keeps falling past the blue, and in that hush of paper and weather I still find you. In the orchard room, a small light burned while the branches moved against the wall. Through the open window, grass and evening drifted in and softened everything at all. By the wooden chair you used to sit in, no one stayed, but warmth was lingering there. And a piece of me I thought was finished lifted gently in that yellow air. I was afraid that if I touched it, the light might fade and leave too soon, while the wind came in with the scent of fruit and quietly disturbed the room. A small light in the orchard room still shines somewhere inside of me. What I thought had long gone dark now returns in that soft amber scene. I know that time is not for holding, I know what leaves may never bloom. Still I find you in the quiet of a small light in the orchard room. Outside the trees were full of shadows, heavy with the last of summer air. And somewhere far beyond the backfield, a screen door opened to the dark out there. The table held a glass half empty, a book turned down, a thread of blue, and every simple thing around me seemed to keep the shape of you. Nothing moved except the curtain, nothing spoke except the leaves. But in that hush, the smallest brightness brought back all I could not keep. A small light in the orchard room still shines somewhere inside of me. What I thought had long gone dark now returns in that soft amber scene. I know that time is not for holding, I know what leaves may never bloom. Still I find you in the quiet of a small light in the orchard room. Just a
reminds me when the day grows thin. Not enough to call you back here, just enough to let you in. And though the night moves through the branches and takes the gold away too soon, something of you still is shining in that small light in the orchard room. In the orchard room, the light is thinning, branches lean across the blue, and in the hush before the dark comes, I still see